All right. Hello, everybody. This is not going to be a very lengthy conversation, but I want to talk about just everything. We see in the news what's happening in terms of layoffs. We talked about them. We have everything from food tech companies, we've got tech companies, startups, we have Twitter. I just saw that Google is on a hiring freeze. Twitter had layoffs. So a lot of companies at this point, pretty much every day, there's news of a couple of companies laying off people at this point. However, what I want to talk about today is a tip that I actually use to figure out what companies are not only hiring right now, but are going to be projected to hire. And so we'll look at that today. Again, I won't take up too much time, but I do want to highlight specific companies that are still hiring right now. So even despite the news that we're seeing, despite seeing these, reports, like I'm looking at another one right now. Despite what we're seeing in terms of the layoffs, the hiring freezes, the slowdown in hiring, and I did see a news report of a slight uptick in unemployment claims. There are still companies that are hiring, so that's the message that I really want to get across today. Let me know if you can hear me. I am speaking from my AirPods today, so I don't know if the audio sounds good. So I want to double check that before you get started. Oh, hello, hello. I'll put you guys up here on the screen. Didn't see you all. Hi, MLW Fishing. I didn't even see your image before. Nice thumbnail pic. Hello, cool gamer. Let me see your pic. Oh, it's like a robot, I think. I can see it better over here. Yeah, it's a little robot. Hey, cool gamer. MLW Fishing. Thank you. Yes, please do hit the like button. Thank you, MLW Fishing, for putting that comment in there. I am going to, let me see if I can pin it. I'm going to have to go to YouTube to do that. Let's see if I can. But thank you for doing that. And hello, Shar. Welcome in. Hey, nice to see you. Thank you all for joining. But let's talk about the companies. Let's highlight some of these. Let me make sure I can find your comment. Here we go. I see you. See if I pinned the right one. Okay. Thank you, MLW Fishing. All right. So, other folks are coming in here. Hello, Larry. Nice to see you. Thank you, Larry, for commenting on my videos. I did a video about interns and you still, you hung in there with me, watched the video, left me a comment. So I appreciate that. All the stuff we do on YouTube for the algorithm. Hello, Shar. Hello, hello. Scratch and P. Hello, welcome. Shout out to you. I see you growing over there. Fingers crossed that you win some big money soon. All right, so I'm going to put this up there. So let's talk about companies. So I am going to show you the companies, but I want to go ahead and just shout out the companies that I am seeing hiring right now, and also the reason why I think they are projected to hire in the future. And I'm going to talk through why. All the tax companies, right? KPMG, Deloitte, Ernst & Young, PwC. These companies are hiring. JP Morgan, Citi, Bank of America, also hiring. When it comes to logistics and transportation and all of that, the first one I'm going to mention is Amazon. Amazon is always hiring. I know they're technically in every space, but first thing that comes to mind is the fact that you can order things through Prime and get it ASAP. So let me know what you think about these companies, if you know anyone working at any of these. Also, shout out, remind me where you all are locating, because you guys know I forget. I forget where people are located. I totally forget that. And let me know how the weather is where you are. In Texas, it's hot and it's been raining, which is sad. Okay, so next companies are DHL, USPS, UPS, FedEx, and also there are some food companies, which I'm going to highlight in a second. For tech, there are two software companies. I'm going to save those to the end. And then I do want to talk about staffing. Staffing is still hiring. And the thing that folks don't understand about my industry of recruiting, companies are always typically hiring for recruiters somewhere, right? Now, with staffing, either you have one or two problems. Either it's hard to get people to leave their current job because maybe there's a recession and folks are just afraid to jump and try something different, or there's fears of a recession or something like that. Or you have a period of high growth. There's a lot of things happening. There's plenty of opportunities. And what happens when there's plenty of opportunities, the market is good, people are feeling good, they feel more comfortable exploring other opportunities. So we're either hiring to fill positions that people have left, or hiring to fill new positions because the company is growing and they're identifying new needs that people need to help out with. So that's always going. So I'm going to highlight those companies. Social media, although Meta, we've seen Twitter with layoffs, we've seen Google. I put them in social media too a little bit because of YouTube, and but they also just put out that they are on a hiring freeze. I think it's just for 2 weeks, but we'll see. And then in the car industry, I'm seeing Ford is hiring. I'm seeing Tesla is still hiring, even though with that, don't tell me anything, because I know it just depends with that industry sometimes, but they are trending to still continue growing, and it looks like they're hiring. So I'm going to pull up something that I'm using and why I'm saying, one, these companies are still hiring, and why I say they're trending to continue hiring right now. Let's see if I can share my screen. Some of you may know where I'm going. What do you think I'm going to show up here? What site do I love? My favorite, well, not my favorite site, but my favorite site when it comes to job searching. If someone can guess it before I pull it up, I might give you a secret surprise. If you can guess it before I pull it up. Okay, so we're in LinkedIn. Those that listen to me, I love LinkedIn. So this is TikTok. This is the one social media company that I'm like, look, they are hiring like crazy still. I don't know about their work environment, but I know that they are hiring like crazy. And the reason I say they are projected to continue hiring, is because I'm in talent acquisition, I'm in recruiting. And when I see a company like this, if I look for their name and I see that they are posting jobs pretty consistently, that's one giveaway. The other thing I'm looking for is when they posted the job. When are they posting these jobs out? Was it months ago? Was it weeks ago? And right here, I see this 1 week ago, another week ago, right? It's pretty recent. 1 day ago, they're hiring. That shows growth. You're not hiring recruiters to be on your staff if you're not projected to hire. So these folks are going to be working. They're going to be hiring more staff. So TikTok is one company that will be hiring consistently. Hello, Edward. Welcome in. Nice to see you. Everyone's been real quiet. So Edward, hopefully you can get some folks talking in the chat. But TikTok is going to be my first one that I have to talk about. And again, if you look here, although there are other social media companies that are having to lay off folks, I think Snap is another one that just is going through that as well. But here you go. And you see that it's very recent. So there is the growth that you will see. Now, again, these are going to show me talent acquisition jobs because that's the industry I'm in, right? Now, it's the industry that I'm in. If I run another industry, they would show me different jobs. The reason I still want to highlight this is because, again, if you're hiring recruiters to be on your payroll like this, and it's very recent, a day ago, a week ago, a day ago, right? It's very recent, you're going to continue hiring. So that's one company. Okay. Next one, I have to talk about car industry. I'm not in the car industry, but if you're in manufacturing or something, that's going to be another thing to look at. Ford. People talk about Ford, but they are actually hiring. So they're hiring a sourcing recruiter as well. They have other roles in here. I would say not as much as TikTok. The reason I started with TikTok is because they are hiring a ton. But in terms of their locations, you see there's a wide variety. Kansas City, Fort Worth, Texas. They're hiring folks in trade. So if you have a trade or if you've been in the manufacturing space, I know there are some folks that watch some of my videos because I talked about production operators and forklift operators and job tips. Well, if you're looking for a job, you may want to check out Ford Motor Company because if they're hiring talent acquisition folks and you see a mix of other roles that they're hiring for right now, and these are being posted 2 weeks ago, one day ago, right? Then that's a good trend to look at. They're likely going to continue hiring over the, obviously next couple of months to the year, right? You don't hire this many folks on staff if you're not projecting out a year in advance, typically. So that's Ford. Tesla didn't have a ton show up for me, but they are hiring some recruiters. So I noted executive recruiter, HR partner. So there's still some hiring going on at Tesla, high volume recruiter. Again, a key word for me, high volume recruiter. What are they going to do? They're going to have a high volume of roles that they're recruiting for. So they're going to be hiring in mass, likely at the different factory locations because it says Gigafactory. So that's another giveaway. And then we have a senior recruiter. We have HR, we have technical recruiters. So they're going to continue hiring. So if I were looking for a job and I wanted something consistent, I wanted something stable, it looks like they are still on the path of growth. All right, how much time do I have on here? Because I said I didn't want to be on here too long. Thank you, Edward, for bringing everybody in the chat. I appreciate that. So staffing, if you're a recruiter and you're like, you were affected by the Twitter layoffs. Well, there are 2 agencies that are going to be hiring like crazy. And they are hiring right now, a ton. And it's going to be first Robert Half. Like if you see that red sign is all Robert Half. So they are recruiting in various areas, marketing. Now, some of these jobs, of course, are going to be postings for other companies, but you see HR roles in here, you see recruiter roles in here. That's likely going to be Robert Half directly. So that's another one to take a look at. If you are in talent or if you're in other areas, you may want to look at Robert Half because they do a lot of staffing for some of the major companies within the US. The next one is going to be Solomon Page. Thank you, Edward. I'm going to pin that comment in just a second. Let me pin your comment, Edward. Let me go over to YouTube because I can't do that from StreamYard. I really wish you could do that. I wish you could be a little more interactive in terms of what you can see on StreamYard. You can't really see too much, which I don't love about StreamYard. And then Restream is not the best either. So there's that. All right, I'm going to pin you up here. You have to unpin this first. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay, so the other one that I wanted to look at is Solomon Page. So Solomon Page is right here. They have a number of openings. And again, recruiter, talent acquisition recruiter, senior legal recruiter. That tells me that they are projecting and they have a lot of hiring needs coming through from their clients, which are companies that they're working with. So that's staffing. In tech, there's one company that I keep seeing, and it's this, AHA, is a SaaS company, software as a service. If I can search them, let's see. All right, so there we go. And Ever, let me know if you can still hear me okay. So AHA is a service, oh my gosh, software as a service company, software development company. So if you're in tech, if you were affected by layoffs, well, here's another tech company that's hiring in multiple locations and for remote jobs too. So there's remote jobs in here. They have multiple locations listed: Texas, St. Louis, Arkansas, Michigan, you name it. And this is just strictly, I want to highlight, this is just strictly pulling the fact that I'm a recruiter. So it's automatically sending me jobs that I would be a match for immediately. Thank you, Edward. Appreciate it. Okay, so that's AHA. And they have been consistently promoting jobs. 8 hours ago, they're looking for a ton of recruiters. So that tells me that they have projected growth. You don't hire this many recruiters, you don't have this many recruiters on your payroll if you're not a growing company and you're not projecting to have those recruiters really working and really finding people to fill roles in a long-term capacity, right? So there you go, another one. Look at me, I'm just scrolling. I'm just scrolling through, scrolling. And then I love how LinkedIn says your profile matches this job. Like it'll tell you how well your profile matches and all of that. So that is AHA. I did want to note that I think Microsoft might be going through some changes, like structural change. And the reason why is this. So I wouldn't count out Microsoft, even though we have seen news about them laying off people. The reason why I feel that way, let's see if it brings up what I was looking at earlier. Well, a part of it is because they still have openings, but there was a role I saw earlier today, and it had something like I think talent development, focus on change management, or something like that. That made me think, okay, maybe they're just restructuring. So that's one that I would keep an eye on. Microsoft typically has, cash reserves, so I have to keep them in there because I feel like they can weather a storm. All right, so I'm going to shift over to Amazon. And with these jobs, corporate jobs, factory jobs, manufacturing, logistics, supply, tech, all of it. So I'm trying to give a mix of different things and different industries too, to show, hey, this is how you can. If you're worried about a company's stability, look at them and see if they're hiring recruiters too. Because if they're hiring recruiters, they're growing. Like they're not going to hire us. I'm overhead otherwise. I am just overhead otherwise, unless the company is growing and they are going to put me to work and have me finding people to work in that company long term, right? So that's what I'm going to note there. Let's see. Hi, Fighter. Hi, how are you? You're funny. Let's see. WCW. It's Thursday though. It's Thursday. I think my internet just stopped. Let's see if I can refresh it. I don't know. It keeps showing me AHA, and I'm like, no, I'm definitely not trying to do that. And I know there are Amazon roles, but it keeps showing me that. That's fine. I'll move on to DHL. All right, so DHL comes up. This is a logistics company, transportation, that sort of industry. They're hiring a ton of roles too. They're kind of spread out here, but you can see in the yellow, that's all DHL. And they're hiring a lot of talent acquisition focused roles too. So that tells me again, DHL will be a place that I would look at. I would foresee them continuing to hire. There's some other ones that come up. I'm not really looking at those right now. UPS is another one that will come up. FedEx is another one that will come up, and USPS. So I'm just kind of going through them. They're all kind of similar, so I'm not going to take the time to review them, but you can review it yourself if you get onto LinkedIn and check them out. I don't know why it's like taking forever and a day. All right, so US Foods is one that I just think is underrated. I used to volunteer with the Urban League back home in Missouri, and there was this person, there was a contact from US Foods, and I guarantee you they always had jobs. Like they were always hiring. Like no matter what point of the year, they were always hiring. So if you look at US Foods, they are hiring for a mix of roles, everything from a night selector to digital content manager, right? So they have corporate jobs, they have drivers. Drivers are always going to be hired, they're always going to have a job. WCW even on Thursdays. You're funny. Not WC, not WC. I can't even talk. WCW on a Thursday. That's funny. Okay, so US Food, I mean, it just keeps going. These are all open. All of them right now. 1 day ago, 1 week ago. So again, that tells me that they're going to be pretty consistent. And it's the food industry. We know that's pretty much recession proof overall. Transportation is pretty recession proof. The next one I want to talk about that's similar to me, like US Foods, is going to be Pepsico. Another one, if you look in here, you see jobs. You see jobs. You see talent acquisition jobs. So that means they're going to have even more hiring, right? You see it continues, right? So compared to a company, say, that's not doing a lot of hiring, maybe you see 1 or 2 or 3 jobs from them, and this is just from LinkedIn. So these are the most recent. But if you look at the top, you see the overall results. You see there are more, right? They're hiring. It's not just doom and gloom. So the main point of this video is just to, even though the news reports are saying different things, I do want you to realize that, listen, yes, certain industries are having a hard time right now, but it really is in every industry. Don't just strictly, if you're on the job search, don't just strictly listen to the reports. Now, obviously, I actually made a video for my members and I talked about my own thoughts about if it's a good time to move to a different company if you feel like you're in a good place. And so I'll leave that for my members to check out. But overall, if you're on the job search, if you're not working right now and you feel kind of doom and gloom, check out the companies that are actually actively hiring and are consistently hiring. I would hate for someone to be in a situation where, there was a situation with Coinbase where they send offers and they have to rescind them, right? Twitter had the same thing come up with them. Of course, you don't want to be in that scenario. So just check out, see how the company's trending, if they're seeming to be in a space where they're growing and they're showing that, it may be a good company to move forward with. That just that just threw wow, that just threw everything off. Um, can you still hear me and see me? For some reason, if someone calls me, it just throws it all off. Fighter says, I have my CDL, they're always hiring. Right. If you're a driver, always hiring. Where do you work? Are you comfortable sharing that, Fighter? And if you have ideas for other folks, if they watch this video, probably leave it in the comment. I don't know if people watch the playback during live streams. I don't really do that. Oh, we see. Okay. All right. So you guys see me. Okay, cool. Okay, cool, Shar. All right. So the last one I will bring up, I'll go ahead and just highlight it so you can see what I'm talking about. And then this will be my last one. And I'll see if you have any questions or if you just want to chat about anything, what's going on, what's in the news, what's trending. If you do want me to just comment on something, leave me a comment in here and I'll tell you in real time what I think about what you tell me. So much is happening right now. KPMG, oh my gosh, they're going to be hiring. Like if you have someone that's getting out of school, just tell them, just tell them look either at Amazon, KPMG, Deloitte, Ernst and Young, PwC, because it's about that time because they are hiring interns, they're hiring full-time folks, they're hiring senior associates, just you name it. Within their space, it's ridiculous. They got like 20,000 job openings. So again, yes, certain places are not hiring or they're slowing down or they're laying off, but look at this. 20,000 results for KPMG. Now, some of those may be older, some of them are going to be internship programs, but a lot of it is full-time staff. Then you have Deloitte. Deloitte has 8,000, right? And of the ones that I see, they are recruiting, they're doing campus recruiting. It's, that again tells me that when I see talent acquisition, okay, for the next year at least, they are planning to hire. So they're going to be growing. So it's not like you're going to need to, from what I see here, worry about seeing a report about them having layoffs. Now, that doesn't include if something drastic happens, if something changes. That's not what I'm saying. Anything can happen. I think we learned that lesson. But in terms of what I see here and how well you can estimate what's going to happen with a company. So here you see, I'm looking at Ernst & Young, but PwC comes up. That's the other thing. If they mention other companies or if there's an advertisement or something, any of that, it will catch it. So you have to give it a little grace there. But generally, you're going to get, you see 20,000 results here. Ernst & Young, PwC. And I know PwC is being pulled up because I just searched for PwC. Both of them have been hiring like crazy. So that would be another one. All right. So banking, I will hit on really briefly. JP Morgan, Bank of America. Those are some ones to look at too if you are in banking. Y'all, like, I don't even know if I spelled that right. Spelled it with an O. JP Morgan will be another one. And this is my last sheet. So I don't know what board C is. They keep posting that up there, but what's in blue is JP Morgan. This blue box right there. JP Morgan, JP Morgan. They have a lot of talent acquisition roles open. They've been doing diversity focused recruitment, all of that. All of that. So JP Morgan is another one. Again, don't get caught up in the hype of what the news is saying. The news isn't built to really tell the full story, right? There's Bank of America, 11,000 results. They're hiring a ton of talent acquisition. Again, if I see talent acquisition, I see, oh, they're hiring full-time staff to really grow the company. So they're going to hire more people. So it's great. This is what you want to see if you're planning on joining a company or if you're considering. We got TD Bank in here as well. So a lot of options. Anyway, so I'm going to take that down. Let's see what folks are saying. I need my computer though, because I can't see anything over there. Let's see. Oh, I missed you. Let's see who came in. Lighter says, I work in the tri-state area for a food distributor. Okay, yeah, you're Fighter. You are good. They're always going to need people. I mean, stuff does happen. Yes, do they have layoffs from here and there, but generally it's pretty good. The last one I wanted to just talk about though is the IRS. They're going to be hiring with this bill passing because they are cracking down on taxes. They want the wealthy folks to pay taxes. They are going to be hiring, what did I say? I'm getting my notebook off the ground. Field examinations, customer service. They want to improve their customer service experience, tax filing compliance. They're not playing. So they're going to be hiring. Now, some reports said, what was it? There was some crazy high number that they provided. I want to say they said 87,000 agents. I don't know if I believe that, but will the IRS be hiring a good number of people? Yes, they definitely will. And I feel like, this is just my personal thoughts, I feel like, hi Teddy. So Teddy's in here. I feel like when there's a trend to a recession, I do feel like folks kind of go to the safer jobs. So the really large corporations, they want to go to, really long-standing companies, government jobs. And then once things start opening up again, things feel a little more comfortable, then they'll try out more with the startups and things that are trendy and, growth oriented companies in terms of this is a really small firm and they're wanting to grow to a, Amazon level or a Facebook level, that sort of thing. That's my view on what generally tends to happen. Let's see. Hey, Ted. Welcome, Ted. Nice to connect with you. Ted is saying, Jessica, can we please get a comment on the woman employee that shared her salary on TikTok and was fired for it? Wait, I didn't know, but I'm not on TikTok like that. I am on TikTok. I share Ariel Silks stuff. And then I have another TikTok where I was sharing job content, and then I got bored with that because I have YouTube for this. Oh, let's look up this story. Let's see. So there's a woman fired for sharing salary on TikTok. I think it depends on her scenario. I feel like with sharing salary, I feel like it should be open, but not every company is aligned on that. And a part of that too is sometimes you can share salary information, but it can change, right? Compensation structures change, salary amounts change, and all of that. And it's hard to kind of, I guess, manage expectations for certain companies if folks are just posting stuff online and you don't really know. But at the same time, you can look at pay scale or Glassdoor or Indeed and look at general salary information. So I don't know. That's interesting. Okay, so I'm looking at the report. It says state lawmakers have taken steps to help close the gender gap, but a gender why can't I talk tonight? I'm sorry, y'all. It's nighttime. It's time for me to go to bed. But a Denver woman says she was penalized for her actions with the same intentions. Lexi Larson says she was fired after publicly sharing her salary on TikTok. Larson, 25, has always been open about sharing her salary and budget on social media. At TikTok, you know what? I started with TikTok. I don't know about their culture. I will say that. Um, she's a woman in tech, a field dominated by men. I think for women definitely, any underrepresented group should be sharing their compensation information. I think women have a harder time doing that. But I am really thankful for the women that have been in my life, my professional life, that have been really open and transparent. And I don't think it's just, especially for women, I don't think it has to be, you have to only talk to Black women about compensation. I think you should talk to everyone, women, men, different groups, different locations, really get an understanding of what folks are being paid, especially within your field, and especially if you have the same job title. Um, yeah, that's how I feel personally, but I know companies have different stances on this stuff. So it says when she scored a new job, taking her from 70,000 per year to 90,000 per year, she was ecstatic. She shared the good news on TikTok. The video went viral. A lot of people commented saying you're just bragging. You just want people to think you make a lot of money. I mean, why do people comment stuff like that, first of all? Who cares? If they want to brag on TikTok, let them brag. In terms of me looking at their content, I don't, how is that hurting? I think it only hurts someone that's maybe not making that amount. And I honestly don't see 90,000 a year as, brag worthy an amount. I think it's a livable compensation, of course. I definitely think it's livable. I don't know if people would just brag about it, but who knows? I think making it right out of college would be brag worthy. I just wanted to let people know this doable and it's not out of reach for the average person. She was terminated 2 weeks after posting the video on TikTok, which has since been removed. Larson believes the post about her pay got her fired from her new job. My managers implied that other people at the company were not paid as much. That's not, listen, they didn't want people to know that. It was a phone call. I have no paper record of that. Honestly, at that point, and I see the girl here, I'm going to bring it up so you can see the article that Ted is mentioning. Let's see if I can, oh, wrong thing. Let me close out of this one. I'll bring it up. But overall, I just feel like, one, if she was terminated anyway, I don't know why she took the post down. At that point, maybe she could have used that for growing her TikTok. But this is the girl. And this is the post, like she's sharing her compensation. Honestly, I don't think that's a term. think is word termination unless it says that in their policy or something. But you can share your salary. I believe it's illegal to tell people not to share their salary, but with the case of TikTok, that's not a US based company. Pretty sure that's a company based in China, I want to say, because it's under ByteDance. ByteDance, I'm gonna look for it. ByteDance, Chinese company. Yeah, so I don't know exactly how that works when it's a non-US based company, but that's interesting. Oh, I just realized you can't see the post. Let me scroll down in it. So it's this. That's right here. I don't really agree with that. And you should be able to share salary in the United States. And I mean, she's located in Denver, but there's nothing on file for her to even say if they had a phone conversation with her and if she can't prove that that was the exact instance of why they terminated her. I don't know if she would really have a solid case. I'm not a lawyer, but that you have to. This is why if you're ever going through any type of discrimination at work, you always, or if you don't know this, you would be told by others to always document everything that happens to you, every conversation. You have to document things. Let's see. That's crazy. Unless there's anything else you want me to comment on. IRS is also hiring armed agents. Oh, good point, Edward. Thank you for pointing that out. So they're hiring armed agents as well. Interesting. That's a lot. Fire says, yeah, I know, like 87,000 people. I don't know if I really 100% believe those numbers that are quoted. We'll see what happens. I need a government job. IRS agent sounds good, except I hear their workforce is really old. It's a very slow pace. If you're thinking about moving to government, I actually have an aunt that worked, well, two aunts. One is no longer with us. One is still with us, thankfully. But both of them worked for the IRS, and it's good and bad. If you like a slow pace, if you like having things take forever to get done. That's at least for folks that have worked in government. That's what I hear. Slow to change, slow to, process improvements and that sort of thing, which is really sad when you think about the government. It makes sense on one end, but at the other end, it's like, oh, really? It should be better than that. Let's see. They aren't even allowed to use document scanning for W-2s during tax season. I am not for that inefficient. Yeah, that would be a change. Some people just don't like it. King of Kill said haters. So this is why, going back to the TikTok scenario, Ted, this is why the company, I imagine, would have asked her to take the post down. It's solely because of her other, the rest of her teammates not getting paid that amount. Of course, within human resources and within management, they should have people on a pretty equal pay range, but then there's different scenarios that happen. This person has a master's degree. This person we poached from a company that we're going to need this much to get them, and all these different things come up. But it's on the company to ensure that within that team, if someone's making a certain compensation for this role and this other person's doing the same job at the same title and they're making less, they're supposed to do the work, not the employee. It's not really on them to, manage their team. So I see both sides of it. I get why a manager might approach her and say, hey, can you please take this down? We just don't want, other team members to know we haven't brought them up to this number yet, or whatever they're trying to do. But that's her personal social media account. I think that's where the distinction needs to be made too. It's her personal social media account, it's her personal brand. What if she was just making it up? People make stuff up and put it on social media too, just for clout. So, for me, that really rubs me the wrong way. Personally, So it's really sad to see that, just from making that simple post to, I imagine, empower other people could have been why she did it. To say, hey, if you're a woman, you can, or if you're like, a few years out of college, you can make this amount. You can do it too. This is how I did it, or whatever. These are skills I have. And it's just like when you go to Millennial Money, there are people on Millennial Money and they share their compensation and everything. So I don't know. It's interesting. That's interesting. Um, but if she's working for TikTok and then she's posting it on TikTok, of course TikTok is going to know. That's the other, I mean, they're going to know. It's like if I worked for YouTube and then I posted something at YouTube, whether my team, my manager is going to see it, right? That's a weird one. That girl should call her Auntie Sue. This smells suspiciously like unfair dismissal. I definitely from what I'm reading, yeah, it seems like I hope she documented some stuff because that's the only way. I feel like that could go somewhere, but you never know. A lot of companies they settle all the time, and so she has a case. She may make some moves. I'm getting my blue card, which will upgrade me to an armed guard. Congratulations, King of Kill. Everybody in the chat say congrats to King of Kill. That's awesome. Ted said the girl said the company told her she hadn't broken company policy. Right, because they shouldn't have a policy that contradicts the fact that legally in the US you can share your salary. Um, I'm a little rusty on my HR laws, but yeah, that's that's not right. I think it's interesting that they called her. Um, is yeah, and never like told her anything in writing because if it was a part of the policy, the HR team, the manager, they would want something in writing to say, per our conversation today, we are going to have to put you on a performance plan because you broke this policy, or they would want something in writing for sure. The girl said the company. She said she had to sign papers upon leaving. Not sure if an NDA. She signed papers after leave. Maybe she. Okay, so this is kind of making more sense, and I'm going to get off of here. I wonder if she was giving a severance package because in order to get a severance package, you have to sign some papers. Oftentimes, there's statements in there saying you won't sue the company or you won't go public about certain things and or give client information. All these different statements, right? So maybe that's why she took it down because she was getting a payment through severance package. Who knows? Because sometimes not just layoffs, but also terminations, companies may provide severance packages too. The company said it was a security concern, but a security concern? If it was okay, so I have to pause there because if it was a security concern, she shouldn't even be able to post anything then on TikTok. Come on, I don't know. I don't know about that. Now, in terms of competitors finding out, like if she's like, this is how much, I make at TikTok. Another concern for the company would be competition. Meta, Google, all of the other companies going, oh, well, what do you do? Oh yeah, we can beat that. That's a big part of why larger companies won't just, all willy-nilly share compensation information. Well, they don't want to have that issue where everyone's going, oh, they pay this much, or we can pay this much, and they do this, and we can do this above that because they're all fighting for the top talent. I get that aspect of it, but security concern, I'm not really understanding that. Under NRLA, she should be allowed to talk about it. Right, she should be allowed to talk about it. So this is why I think they would purposely not put anything in writing. That's just me looking from the outside. I don't know this girl. I don't know her story, but that's really sad to see, especially for like I hate to say this, but for a woman to be speaking out and sharing that type of information when women do need to do that more. Um, that's really unfortunate to see. I am disappointed in the YouTube channels picking on women saying she is entitled. The focus should be on workers' rights against the men. You know, I am surprised that people would be mad about someone sharing their compensation. Out of all the things that are shared on social media, that is not something I would be upset about. Even if she was just like, "I just wanna brag." You go ahead and brag, girl. You go ahead and brag. Like, that's you're accomplishing things, you're doing better, like, it's positive. On TikTok, I will say I've seen a number of just very negative things out there too. There's positive and there's negative. I'm definitely gonna support something that's more positive like that. Ted is saying, but she didn't name the company or even what her job duties were. So security concerns seems like, yeah, that's very strange. I agree. Any other comments before I get off of here? Everyone's saying congrats to King of Kill. Yeah, that's awesome. King of Kill, I feel like he's always working towards different goals. So I really like that. That's awesome. So, closing thoughts. Don't get too hung up on the news reports. I don't know if I'm frozen or if you can still see me. I froze for a second, but don't get hung up on the news reports. There's still places that are hiring. There's still a lot of great companies out there. In terms of this example with TikTok, I don't know what the ins and outs were. I don't know what she signed upon joining because, again, with a lot of tech companies, you sign a lot of paperwork. So maybe it wasn't the fact that it was the compensation amount. Maybe it was something else. I don't know because the fact that she's taken down the video makes me believe her story because if it was just something fake or something she made up or something she was just getting clout over, she likely would have kept up the post. So I would love to hear more about that. Let me just take a look. King of Kill says gas prices are improving. Yes, a lot of prices are coming down. Gas prices, and then also in the store, I'm seeing prices kind of go down a bit, but definitely the gas, 100%. Right, and that's why I feel like, with this scenario right now, I'm wondering what the Fed's actions are gonna be once we level off on the inflation, and if we'll be back on that path of growth that we were on in 2019. I really anticipate, what 2023 will hold. It really is in the Fed's hand. I don't know if I knew the Fed was powerful, but I feel like 2020 showed just how powerful the Fed is. Seriously, I mean, they control everything that is going to happen. So if it's good times or it's bad times, the Fed is the control over that. All right. Well, I appreciate you all joining me tonight. I was gonna look at this post just to see it, make sure I didn't miss anything with this girl on TikTok. Oh, it says Larson's employer claims they terminated her because her videos were a security concern, like I think Ted or Pete said. I think it's really important to share your salary and be open about how much everybody is making because that's the only way we can make sure that women and people of color are being paid fairly. I love that statement. In Colorado, you can share your compensation in Colorado. That's very strange. Because you know what? I have to, like, if I were to make a job post for Colorado right now, I have to put the pay in the job description. It's a requirement for that state. I don't understand that. I feel like there's something missing here. There's something missing because for that job you can see it. It's not like if, other states don't have that requirement, not all states do, but I do know that Colorado has that requirement. Again, I'm not up on all of the HR laws, but I know that I know that one. So that is interesting. Um, I think it's really important to share. Okay. She does not plan to sue as Colorado is an at-will state. And State Senator Jesse Danielson told CBS's whatever. Tory Mason that workers should never be penalized for discussing their wages, right? Benefits or working conditions. Yeah, they can share. You can share that legally. Since January 2021, employers in Colorado have been required to include salary range with their job postings. Danielson co-sponsored the Equal Pay for Equal Work Act that sparked this change. Danielson believed workers should always be able to talk with others about their salaries. She says this knowledge makes workers, especially women, more equipped to fight for the pay they deserve. Right. This act is translating into a more fair workplace, better compensation, and equal treatment for women across the state. Pay transparency is a huge part of that. Right. I heard from a number of women. Okay, so it sounds like she's getting support overall. If it weren't for this new law, I would not have known about this new advancement opportunity. I got a promotion, a raise, only because of the new law that requires employers to make this information public. Not every state has that law, though. Colorado and another state. There are a couple, I think, but I remember Colorado because I saw a notice about it a little while back. I don't know why I'm trying to look over there because I can't see that. Oh, hey, Partly Cloudy. How are you? What is up? Hey, Samri. Oh, cool. Nice to see you in here. All right, I'm going to hop off. Ted says, thing is, BLS says we are nearing unemployment rates pre cough cough. Yet restaurants are still screaming, no one wants to work. Very sus. I think the restaurants have just had a hard time catching up with the demand. Also, we have to think about this too. School is about to start back up. So all that staff that was working, these summer jobs, they're going back to school. Are they going to continue working? We've had, cases rising again a bit. There's still a need. There's still restaurants and stores and grocery chains that still see that need. The other part of it too is that there's going to be a time shift to see where this job market is. So the folks that got better jobs, they got training, they left the restaurant, they left bartending, they left whatever they were doing, cashiering, all these different jobs in the spaces that are crying like, hey, we need people, we need to find people. They moved to tech, or they started a business, or they just got a higher paying job in a company or a small business, whatever. As the layoffs happen, we'll kind of have to see if those folks will just go to the other companies that are hiring en masse right now. They'll start businesses, or if they might go back into the spaces that they know. That may also happen. So I do believe, I don't think it's a lie that, the restaurants are having trouble finding people. It's because people got a taste of something better and they see what they could get more, and they're looking at that pay and going, no, to do this and this and this for that pay, probably not. I don't blame them. Everyone has to do what's best for their scenario. Like when there was a buffalo wing shortage. No, don't compare it to the buffalo wing shortage and the baby. There's a baby formula shortage. So many shortages. There was no shortage on the chickens for yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Did TikTok respond to this? They said it was not due to the compensation. They said it was a security risk or a security threat. I think Pete put that in the comments. So if you want, let me put the article in here so you can see it. Let's see. Did I close it? Wait. Y'all. I think I closed it out. But if you search, yeah, it's gone. Meanwhile, okay, this is the last thing I want to talk about. Did you all see how Birkin bags have kind of plummeted in sales? People are losing interest, and now folks are moving to the Telfar, if I can say the word right. Telfar? Is that how you pronounce it? Telfar? They're moving to those bags, which are Black owned. I thought that was really interesting just because of what Beyonce said in this one line. Was it Summer Renaissance? I want to say it was that song. But she said Birkins were out of style. She's putting them in storage and she's getting a tougher. Tougher. Why can I say this word? But I had a link up and it just reminded me about that because I was looking for the link for TikTok and I couldn't find it, but I found that, of course. But their bags are really reasonable, by the way. They have belts, they have hats. I did not know about this brand until I heard, the lyrics and then I looked into it. But, in terms of their bags, I would say, yeah, I think they're cute. I think they're cute. Random, but I do think they're really cute. And I feel like they're trendier than a Birkin bag too, but let me just look at them. I mean, a bag is a bag, right? I think Birkins are fine. I'm not buying it. Like, I pull up Birkin bag and it says $525,000 for a bag. Like, that bag better change my whole world. I better be able to sell that bag next year for $1 million. Oh my gosh. So anyway, lasting thoughts there. If you have thoughts about that too, leave me a comment. But good night, everybody. Thanks for joining me and having a little chit chat with me. And I appreciate you also staying positive about this job market. And we'll keep in touch. I'll keep providing updates, and I will talk to you all again soon. Bye.